Texas, Notre Dame, Colorado, UCLA, Rutgers, Illinois, and more. We've got a lot of recruiting commitments to discuss and a big-time decommitment on the recruiting blitz.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back into the Portal Podcast, where you get your daily recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. I'm Brian Smith, longtime college football writer and recruiting analyst. Thank you for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's show is brought to you by our friends at Gametime. Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. We have a variety of topics today, but most importantly, at the end, I want people to realize that it's not where you're ranked right now in the recruiting rankings. We're going to go over rivals rankings to use it as an example, and why a few programs have fewer commitments, and that's okay. It's only May 15th, not November 15th, May 15th. We are over 6 months away from National Signing Day, so take it easy on that. Secondarily, we have a decommitment that is a massive player for several programs to go after. Xavier Griffin, he was committed to the USC Trojans. We'll talk about that. And to start, we have commitments: Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, Rutgers. There are a lot of programs still adding players before this big weekend. And starting tomorrow, recruiting is full on for about 2 months straight. It will be a blast. So let's dig in. First kid to commit that I want to talk about, Jermaine Bishop Jr., athlete. I've tried to narrow it down on which position he will play, but he's literally talking to multiple coaches at the University of Texas, where he made his pledge yesterday. Where is he going to go and be just this position or that? I can't say it for sure, because Texas has talked to him a little bit about different spots. Return man, he's elite. Receiver, especially in the slot, he's just unbelievable. And he's a pretty physical kid, despite being 5'11", 155 pounds. He's from Willis, Texas, just outside of Houston. I think this is a kid that can play any spot you really want at the skill level of, in the spread era. I don't think he would be a downhill running back, 1985 Big Ten or at UT, but he can do a lot of different things with the football in his hands. I'd have a hard time taking it out of his hands. Jermaine Bishop Jr. is electric. Good for Texas for getting him. But I'm sure the corner coach is going to be excited about his opportunity to get him too. And even then, does he play nickel? Does he play boundary? Does he play field? Those questions got to be figured out. I would assume that he is a guy that you could put on an island on the boundary because he's so athletic. And he is, again, he's a physical player. But I don't know for sure where University of Texas wants to put him, because there's going to be a fight between the assistant coaches. And if he plays both ways, that's great for college football. I know that I enjoy that stuff. And before anybody asks, no, I'm not saying he's the next Travis Hunter, but even if he contributed a little bit for the Longhorns on both sides of the football, that's a major accomplishment. Playing both ways at the P4 level is next to impossible due to the time restraints and the grueling nature of football on your body just at one position, let alone playing both sides of the ball. So again, Jermaine Bishop Jr. isn't just good. This is a really good football player. He's a national top 25 guy, like 24/7. Rivals has him in their top 150 or so, like big-time player. Good pickup for the Horns. As we expected yesterday, Jonaz Walton has committed to the University of Notre Dame, the running back from Central High School in Carrollton. I did a overview of him yesterday on the show, and to be honest, this is the kind of running back that can fit into any offense, because he's got the size. He's about 5'9", 5'10". He told me the other day he's 212 pounds. He recently ran 10.64 in 100 meters, and he's a kid that is just very, very intelligent. His second and third picks were Stanford and Florida, so you get an idea. This is a kid that's focused, and he wants to go play at a big-time school that also has academics. Florida's one of the best state schools in the country, and Notre Dame and Stanford are two of the best schools academically in the world. So on the field, off the field, Jonaz Walton is a great young man. Great player. Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish picked up another really good one. They add him to Javion Osborne, giving Notre Dame the best 1-2 punch at the running back position right now nationally. I don't know if anybody will do better than that, but Notre Dame, regardless of where it ends up, they've got to be very, very happy. Ja'Juan Seider for Notre Dame, the running back coach, certainly has done a good job since coming over from Penn State. Next up, not surprising, Deion Sanders is in the news with another player addition, but not the portal this time. Gavin Mueller, 255 pounds. He's obviously college ready. He's from the Chicagoland area, South Elgin, Illinois, in that high school, South Elgin. Had offers from programs all around the country, but decides on the Buffaloes. Colorado doesn't really take a lot of high school kids. I said it yesterday. I'm going to bring it up again. Are they finally trending towards recruiting a few more players from the prep ranks? I think it would behoove them to do so. I don't know if Colorado is going to be dominant in doing it that way, but I think they are smart to go in that direction because you develop better and you have more team chemistry as a rule when players are there 3, 4, 5 years. We'll see what Deion Sanders does, but Coach Prime's obviously made waves at Colorado, and now with the post-Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter era, I think they will build a little more from the high school ranks. At least that's my projection. Next up, and I love what Illinois has done with their program recently, recruiting a lot of kids, building through high school ranks. They get a kid from Ohio again, Parker Krimp, defensive end from Elida, Ohio, 6'3", 235. When you continually get players that you can bring in that want to be a part of your system from at least somewhat locally, it's 2 states away, that's going to help you. Brett Bielema has done a good job with the Illini, and they're knocking on the door for possibly making the college football playoff this year. Don't be surprised if they're in that running. Even at the end, if they don't make it, it will also bolster Illinois' recruiting efforts come December. Just something to think about. Next up, and I pronounce this my way. I'm not sure how I pronounce this correctly. Malo Masao, 6'1", 225, St. John Bosco, going to UCLA. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but he's a really good linebacker, and St. John Bosco is absolutely one of the best programs in the United States. They've been putting kids into the NFL, sending kids all around the country, Ohio State, Notre Dame, UCLA, USC, anybody you can think of, they all recruit that program. Texas, the Florida schools, everybody. Now, I wasn't surprised that they got an in-state player, but I was surprised that they got another talented offensive lineman. Rutgers, 6'7", 315 pounds, Cameron Green out of St. Aug Prep inside the state of New Jersey. He is going to be a Scarlet Knight. When Rutgers does well in the trenches, they tend to take a little bit step forward. That's been their biggest concern, especially defensively over the years. But getting an offensive tackle with Green size inside the state borders is just not normal for them. They lose almost all those kids. They get a lot of the skill kids, but getting offensive tackles that are 6'7", 315, I give credit to all their staff because I did not expect them to do this well second time around for Schiano, and I didn't expect them to do this well in recruiting. They've picked off a few kids that could have went to other programs that have more clout. Good for Rutgers and good for the Big Ten and college football. When we come back, a decommitment that has ramifications in the Big Ten, the SEC, and beyond. That is next here on the Portal Podcast. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Gametime, you can be a part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Gametime makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off draws closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Here's an example. While you can save money on NBA playoff tickets, you can also go to a comedy show, go to the theater with your friends, or maybe you want to go and check out the opera. This is an opportunity with Gametime to save 60% off no matter what you're looking for. The all-in pricing also means that you don't have to worry about stressing about the price changing after you get to checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices, no console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to go. Dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. Max, Paramount Plus, Disney, anything you can imagine, you can get on a Fire Stick. I use mine all the time, and I love to use it for just about anything, especially YouTube. Head over to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, first and second generation, and Fire TV Cube, third generation. Xavier Griffin has decommitted from the University of Southern California. The linebacker from Gainesville, Georgia, had been committed there for quite some time, but there was speculation that he would renege on that and eventually open up his recruitment. That's exactly what has happened. The teams that are going to be involved, among others, because this list is not finalized by any means, Ohio State, Texas, Bama, and Florida State, they all have visits coming up. We'll see how this goes, but I expect this to be a recruitment that adds a few teams. Miami's been heavily involved as well. They might get an OB. Look out for wherever he goes, because this is a dynamic athlete. He can run. He's 6'3", 200, 205 pounds. He could be an edge rusher. He could be an outside linebacker. He could be a guy that ends up playing in the box. Whatever it is, Xavier Griffin is a very, very talented player. He will challenge for some of the recruiting services to be a 5-star recruit. I don't know where he's going, but I am not surprised that he didn't end up at USC. Culturally, Georgia to Los Angeles, most kids just aren't going to do it. It sounds good at first, but very few have stuck with it. USC has lost so many commitments from Georgia, Florida kids over the last few years. I'm surprised they're still really going after a lot of them, but there is a plethora of talent in Georgia. It is right now, I believe, number one per capita players to the NFL in the United States. So I get it, but they really struggle to get those players. Now, let's talk about recruiting rankings for just a few minutes. There are a few things that we can look at in terms of how you grade a program, their progression in recruiting. But you shouldn't jump the gun too much if your favorite school, especially a traditional blue blood, doesn't start off fast. Why? Many top recruits don't make early decisions. And if you're Bama or Texas or some program in the Midwest, like Michigan maybe, you're not necessarily concerned with how many commitments you have on the 15th of May, but more importantly, where you end up the first Wednesday in December, National Signing Day. So I just want to give a few examples here. I'm going to share my screen for those of you on YouTube, and for those of you who are not, we're going to discuss this directly, but this is a very unique scenario for several programs, but I'm just going to read off the top 10 teams right now, and we can kind of go from there. But right now, USC, which has 27 commitments, that's a lot. They have 27. They're number one. Notre Dame, their arch rivals, number two at 16. Ohio State has 13 commitments. They are third. Clemson has 14 commitments. They are fourth. Penn State, 17 commitments. They are fifth. LSU, 9. They've done a really good job with some really top prospects. They are number 8. Texas A&M with 11 is number 7. Miami Hurricanes with 10. They just got Jackson Cantwell, remember, top player in the country. The Kansas Jayhawks, kind of surprising, number 9. They have 15 commitments. And the Oregon Ducks have 8 commitments. They are number 10. Now, just to put it in perspective, I don't think this matters all that much that we're not seeing Bama, Michigan, Texas, some of these schools. Like Texas has got 7 commits. They got Jermaine Bishop, who we just talked about earlier. He is an electric player out of Willis, Texas. But they've got an incredible official visit list set up over the next month. They'll be fine. Michigan, they've got 5 commitments. They don't even have an in-state kid yet. You know that's going to change. They're going to hit on the majority of the in-state kids. They're going to beat Michigan State for most of those kids. They're going to beat Notre Dame and Ohio State for most of those kids. They'll have some really good prospects from out of state come in for visits too. They'll be fine. And then Alabama, they've got 5 commitments. And I was a little worried based on their trend last year, staying so much on the West Coast. Well, they've changed that. They're cherry picking out there in a few other spots. But Alabama is once again focusing more on Florida. Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, where they have the most success, especially with linemen. They only have 5 commitments. No big deal. They'll be just fine. Here's the rankings right now based on rivals. Texas is 29th, Bama 35th, Michigan 40th. I guarantee you all those programs, barring something very unusual, a coach getting sick, having to step down, something like that, they're all going to finish in the top 15. And it's possible that Bama and Texas end up in the top 5. I don't think Michigan will. I don't think they'll take enough players to get there, but we'll see. They'll be top 12 or so. Do not worry if your favorite program is not at the top of the board yet. It's May 15th, this weekend, all the visits start. It could change this weekend and going into next. We're going to see a lot of commitments, and we're going to discuss them here on the Portal Podcast. Download them wherever you get them and on YouTube as a reminder, but you have to be patient with recruiting. The best recruits wait, and fans need to wait as well. Thank you once again for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to get all your latest recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. I am Brian Smith. Thank you once again for stopping in. Please like and subscribe and share. And above all else, please comment. What do you want to hear about here on the Portal Podcast? Love to hear from you. Take care. We will see you again soon on the Portal Podcast.